claim to be leader of the Liberal Party of Canada, looking for the best possible ways to serve Canadians, to serve all Canadians.
I've been photographing the Trudeau family for about 40 years, off and on. This was my first exposure of Justin in public. He was just under 2 years old in 1973, outside of the National Press Theatre in Ottawa, where his father was holding a news conference. And then we saw him again a few months later when he attended the garden party at Rideau Hall for the visiting heads of government from the Commonwealth. That was the day when Pierre Trudeau carried Justin under his arm with a Mountie saluting. I was standing next to a UPI photographer, Rod McIver, who has the same photograph as I do, so we both share the joy of having that image. In this photograph, we see the Prime Minister playing marbles with the three boys. Now, this was during the 1979 election campaign. It's one of my favorite pictures because it really is a relaxed-looking Pierre Trudeau. And the boys, they just ignored us. They enjoyed being with their father. Well, photographing the children was always a bonus because covering politics is quite boring, even if it's Pierre Trudeau. In this particular photograph, the three boys were inside the Prime Minister's office, and they opened up the door, and the three boys are hamming it up. And this is something they always did whenever they could. Photographing Justin, now that he's a politician, I've noticed that he and his father are very similar in some of their mannerisms. In 2002, Maclean's did their first interview with Justin as an adult, so I took some photographs and portraits, and one picture that I took reminded me of this other picture I took of Pierre Trudeau back in '72. What was that? 40 years earlier. They're both doing the famous gunslinger pose that Pierre Trudeau became famous for. Between 1983, when they left office, I didn't get to see the Trudeau boys until 2002, when I met with Justin. He suggested he might run for Parliament. And then a short while later, he got married to Sophie Gregoire, a TV personality. And here in this picture, you see them arriving at the Hotel St. James in Montreal for their reception. I ran into Justin and Sophie several times after their marriage. In 2008, when he decided to run for Parliament, I was at the nomination meeting in Montreal. And here in this picture, he's embracing Sophie after the vote was called, and he was a winner. In this picture, we have him and Sophie carrying one of the children, Ella Grace, on their way to a reception after Justin was sworn in for the second time in 2011. Photographing Justin now, I think I've been very fair with the family. They've been very kind and generous to me. As a result, they are trusting. This past week when I was in Montreal with him and his family, he was wrestling with the children. He was tossing them in the air. So these are things that he would do any day, but he was comfortable letting me take pictures. So now having the opportunity to photograph Justin announcing that he's running for the Liberal leadership is full circle. You know, from 45 years ago when Pierre Trudeau announced until this past week when Justin announced, I had a wonderful feeling that we're on to another chapter in Canadian history.